Kia ora and welcome to another Kōrero Mai. People of great interest. Why? Because they have a great story. And I want to say kia ora Kamatua Toupe we kotu no mai hara mai to our little podcast.
Kia ora, kia ora. Kia ora. Kia ora te rangatira. Ka nui te mihi mo tēnei taonga whakahira. Nā mihi ka koe. Nō reira mai taku hapu ia te upakorehe nā mihi kia koe te rangatira mo tēnei rā whakahira wanga nui a tātou. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā oi. Kia ora mai. Matua rea, you have had such a wonderful journey. And by that I mean an interesting one. And I'd really like to start with when you were a youngster at school, because you didn't have a normal schooling. Tell us about tell us what happened in your school.
Prior to 1950, I had no education because I lived in a bush, way away from the nearest town was a Portiki, and that was about 30 odd kilometres to the first marae. But beyond that marae where you and I went to, Danny, that's that distance to where I was born. I was born in the paddock, they tell me. My mum was sorting kumaras. They were harvesting the kumaras, so I was born that day. I fell out they said I fell out into the ground. Mum picked me up, fed me, leaned me up against the stump of a tree, and went back to her work.
Whoa.
And from that day onwards, I became Toupe Kokere Wikotu. When she registered me 2 years later at Kutarere post office, she registered me as James Toby, James Toupe Kokere Wikotu. Why she put the name James in there? Because of her grandfather, James Collier. All right, I grew up as James Toupe Kokere Wikotu for the rest of my life until the year 1953.
Now, I remember having a little chat with you prior to doing all this and recording this, and some interesting things happened in your schooling when you were about, I think it was 9 or 10 years of age. You decided you might have had enough.
Yes. Well, prior to that, I used to come to school every day, and because I couldn't speak English, I either shit my pants or pissed it. Because the only word I knew about the toilet was parepaku, or tiko, or mimi. Well, that was a swear word, and I got the cuts for it. Day in, day out, day in, day out. Because I used to mimi my tarau, going back on the bus, I used to stink. They always called me Tibi Mimi. That's the name stuck with me all my life till I grew up. Okay, when they finally found out, then I was allowed to stay home. I wasn't allowed to go back to school anymore, so I was allowed to stay home. Yay! I thought. But it was the beginning of my life, which was all mahi and no play. Then I used to say to myself, I wish I could go to school with my siblings, but too late, I wasn't allowed to. So a few years later, my dad died. And they decided that Mum wasn't able to look after us in the bush, so they transferred her to town, into a town house, right outside the Portiki Primary School. So that her tamarikis can be at school every day. Okay. Well, when I heard that they were going to take me to town, I took off. I took off into the bush. I was 8 years of age. But I spent the whole 8 years of my life in the bush anyway. And I grew up with dogs that were puppies. I grew up with them, spoke Māori to them, you know, whispered. Spoke like how I can whisper to you, just like to my kuris. And they used to come and look for me, the police, with their search dogs. My dogs would take them away over the hill and lose them.
False trail.
Yeah, well, they couldn't, for 3 whole months, they couldn't catch me. So they got my mother to come up with them when my koro nipa te pau. And she called out to me, boy, if you don't come down, they're going to lock me up. So when I got down there, my koro nipa te pau was there, grabbed me, took me to Waimara. It put me in the bush for the rest of my life.
So, over those months as an 8-year-old in the bush, where did you sleep? What did you live on?
I slept in the cave woman in these cold houses, pa.
Really?
Of course. I slept in the cave. My kai was in the cave. Hey, my kai was in the trees. Hey, on the ground. I wanted a kai. I said my dog's going to get a pig. But I didn't want to say my dog get a pig because I couldn't eat a pig by myself. So I used to just catch the manus, the wickers, hey, and chuck my kiriruis in the trough.
Aye.
I lived well. I didn't need them. But then my koro nipa came. Took me from there to Waimana for the rest of my schooling, in the bush. That's where I learned all about the Kauwairua, the Kauwairoro.
Kia ora.
About our spiritual whakapapa, eh? And I still carry that today with me. And I've actually managed to translate it into English. That's the work I gave you, Daddy.
Tēnā koe.
Because I asked the last tohunga there, Iha Kapanga, Kuro, our kids would never ever understand this. Our kids wouldn't have the time to try and translate this mahi. How about letting us translate it into English under our tikanga? And he agreed. So for the next 20 years I sat down and me and my wahine,
Aye.
I did translating and she did the writing and the pictures. And we got our family of Marae Kura Patikura together. That's the beginning of our whakapapa. And then from there, we come down to the Kauwairoro, the Mātātua Waka. Oh, sorry, Te Hapu Oneone, Te Paranehu. And I think I gave the whakapapa to one of the young fellas this morning.
Aye.
Of that whakapapa. Because Kahununu was the bearer of that whakapapa. And he took it from the top of the north to the east. He gave it to Rongo Wahine. Because Rongo Wahine was already a Mormon. And she didn't want another tabernacle in the Herohe. So she told Kahununu, she told Tamatea, we Kahununu take it or we'll destroy it. So Tamatea brought it. That's where it stays now in the Waitai Valley. And it's called Maro Mahue at the moment because that's where his mokopuna, Kahuki, his mother dropped all his baby clothes, the maro, dropped the maro and ran because Taimi was after the baby to eat him.
Ooh.
Well, that was another whakapapa, see?
Aye.
Wairaka, she was betrothed to Tuamutu from Tainui. So he brought his best man with him, one of his cousins from Taranaki, and I might be one of your whanaumas, eh?
Handsome fellow?
Oh, mai ore nui
Oh,
was his
can't be
name.
mine. Can't be mine.
Mai ore nui. That was the tipuna, those Pākea's cut his prick off down Taranaki.
Off the carving.
Yes, they make it too absurd. That's his name, mai ore nui, man with a big prick.
Mm.
That's why he was wanted.
By all the women. Lucky fellow.
Well, Wairaka didn't want the Tainui fellow after that. So what she did during the night, she crawled to him and had him, but she'd already told her people, her family, the fellow that walked out of that wharenui all scarred up, that's my Tāne. Ah, well, they were expecting the Tainui fellow. He come down, nothing on his face. Ooh, that's that whakatauki.
Aye.
Pō a wairaka I rarua I te pō. They do it to Muriwai? No, it's not hers. It's Wairaka's. But during the night, a Wairaka crept to him and had it off with him and blamed the darkness. But she knew where she was going.
It's better in the dark.
Exactly. So from that day, Tuamutu found out, and he said to her that day, ki te whānau mai, he wahine, ta paina kia waia weka, ai puhi mā tāua. Right? Te whānau mai, he tāne, ai kai mā takupuku. But she already knew he was a boy. So she up and off, into Tūhoi. She come to Maramahu, she was having a rest there, and she heard something coming, left her maro, everything behind and took off. Right up to a place called Te Kaharoa, beyond where we were,
Aye.
just over the ridge. That's where she came together with one of the rangatiras from Tūhoi called Haiora. He was from Te Hapu or Whakatāne, eh? And he looked after her and brought Kahuki into the world, and she already told him the situation and he knew what to do, so he fed him with all the information of how to do utu, eh?
Oh, killed her.
And as he grew, he fed it into him, taught him how to do the whole, and also he was there gathering warriors. And Haiora commissioned Ngāti Ira to build a wakataua for him. And the name of the waka they gave him was Te Wakatere. And Ngāti Ira carved it up so elegant that you couldn't help but miss it when the sun hit it, eh? So the night before they were ready to go, they rode down round to Ohiwa, to an island called Okehanga. And they had the karakias and everything there, whakatau, all the kauvata hungas, they were doing all the karakias on Kahuki and his 250 warriors on the waka. At 1 o'clock in the morning, midnight, they all finished their karakia on the waka road out to Pakari, straight out in the line. When they got so far, they hit the channel, the waka just turned, heading to the east. And when they turned they hit the channel, they just put their wakas in and went to the side of the waka like this, and they turned up like that. When it turned up, it showed up all the powers under the underbelly, eh? When the sun hit it, they saw it. From Torere, they saw it. And they yelled out, he waka tere, he waka atahua, he waka rangatira. So, what you heard that? Out they come out. But he had a sneaky suspicion, so he kept into the middle of the... Well, when the first lot hit the waka, 200 of them perished. And then they all put the waka down and they headed straight for those fellas, straight through them, killing them, heading straight for Tuamutu. Kahuki caught him on the beach. Te One is the name of the beach. Yeah. And right there and then, he plucked his eyes out. And the rest of his body he took up to his pa, cooked it, ate it there. And the other parts of his body, his head and his legs, he kept. And then as he was leaving, going out to the waka to leave, he heard this, hey, that sounds like my sister. I thought she was dead. I thought they would have eaten her long ago. Gee, I better go and have a look. So, right up the Wainui River, got up to Tuamutu's Mara Kai. It was getting louder and louder. They kept on going. When he was to Rua Kumara, here's his sister tied up by the hand. And her claws was like a bird's claws. She'd been there that long, she was reaching out to get the kumara. Been there that long, eh? All these fingers have grown into claws like birds, like seagulls. That was her name. Her name was Mere Paroro. That waiweka, paroro, the paroro, the bird waiweka, it's a paroro too, a seagull. And when he found her, he brought her back. Brought her back with him and set forth, went up the river. That pa I showed you, Umuororo, that's where, before he crossed the river, or when he landed at the river, he threw the legs off with the tahi, the kaitiaki.
Big shark. Aye.
He threw the legs off for him. Then the head he took up to the pa, cooked it. And that's how what I got his name, Umu Oro Oro. That's where he ate his brains. Yeah. And that was the history of Wairaka and Tuamutu.
Matua, in terms of the kōrero that you're holding and what you've been taught and what you learned in the ngāhere, you know, when you were a youngster and you were growing up, how do you feel looking at our mokos today who are in cities, living on concrete, in cars? How do you feel about the loss or separation from that world in the bush into the world in the city?
You know, if I could, I would take my mokopuras back there because they can see what is happening out here and then they haven't seen what used to happen before. And some of them there, 9, 11, 16 and 21 this year, they want to come back up and learn all about, of course I take them up to show them where the rongoa is, what it is for, and the kai we used to plant here, there and everywhere. Well, they got a full understanding of what used to happen up there, but they haven't experienced the living in the bush. So I think this summer we got to do that.
Aye.
Up to where we went, we got to do that. We got to move up there for the summer and give them a bit of education and do the whole winter as well, because it's all part of it. See?
That'll be hard. The winter will be hard.
Yeah.
You did it all on bare feet.
Yep.
As a
bare
youngster.
feet and no pants.
Ooh.
No pants. Yeah. Well, I just used to have you know those bags, sugar bags, cut a hole in the top of it. That's it.
Comfortable. When you moved away, and you literally went into Te Ao Pāke and you went and got work, and you were making a living. Where did you go to? What did you do for a living And what was that? What was that change of experience like for you?
Well, when my mother met another man, and he moved to Rotorua, to Mamaku, to work for the state forestry, laying railroad lines into the bush. Well, he got that job. So we all moved up there. And I went to Rotorua High School for 2.5 months. And the principal was what I call Harwood. The principal there, he put up with me for a couple of months. And at the end of the couple of months, he wrote a note and sent it home with me. Okay, and I gave it to Mum. Mum said to me, "Oh, boy, you're allowed to finish school and go to Mahi, boy." And I looked at her, eh?
He threw you out.
Hey, oh, go boy, Mum. So, the mill manager was just down the road from Mum, hey, Mum and Dad, and he used to come drinking with them, see? So when they came drinking at our place, she hit him up. She said, "Sid, see my boy over there? He's only young, but he can work and he wants a job." So Sid, the little wee short, Sid Gooden was his name. He said, "Yep, send him down to the mill and we'll try him out." So I went to the mill on Monday morning and they gave me a job. You know what that job was? Slabby. They gave me the job slabby, so I was doing these, like picking them up, putting them in the trolley, wheeling them out, dumping them. And they used to laugh, you know. I used to hear them laughing, and one day I said to this Kuro, "What are they laughing about, Kuro?" They said, "They're laughing about you, bro. You, boy, they're laughing about you. You know, you're only a young boy, you're only a boy, and you're doing a 2 men's job over there." I said, "Hey, yeah, 2 men does that job over there where you're doing. And sometimes they used to have to cut the slabs in half to be able to lift it. You just lift them up like that." I said, oh, I don't know. So I had a job that was paying me 10 shillings an hour. Back then, bro.
Big money.
Yeah, bro.
Big money.
10 shillings an hour. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll go work. And I had to get this paper and take it back to Mum, and Mum will give me a couple of shillings. I go to the shop, yeah. Then I found out Mum was getting all my money to the clubhouse and the RSA. Oh, then I woke up, got educated. I did that for about 2 years, and then Apollo from Pano Apanui, Parish Kingi. He was working for the FRI at the time, doing the forestry industry at Whakarewarewa. They went to him, the New Zealand Forest Services, the government, went to him and said to him, "How can we get jobs for your people, eh, doing cruising through the Mamakus, eh?" And Perry said, "Oh, yeah, easy. Look, see those fellas over there? See that big fellow over there? He's great. That's the man you wanted." And they said, "But he can't speak English properly." And Perry said, "Don't worry about that. He knows about trees. He knows what trees there at the top or right down to the Oromoa. So all he has to do is tell your man, that's a tawa, that's a totara, that's a river, pay him." That was a big pay too, bro.
Good money.
Money potiko, hey, that's what we called it, money potiko. Well, all the time, I look back now, all those native timbers right throughout the Mamakus, right through to Tauranga, I cruised it all. I marked all those trees to be removed, to be sold to the mills.
But that was then.
Yeah.
That was the system. Now you moved on from it. You ended up in the South Island. How did that happen? And what did you do down there?
Forestry. The forestry sent me down there to plant forest at Tapuera up in the mountains in the snow. Well, that's a job. And then when that ended up, I went to Motueka.
Mm.
And because there was some farmers at Takaka that needed some shearers. These farmers only had about, they'd have about 500 breeding ewes each. There was about 11 farmers, little farmers all along Takaka. And they wanted some shearers to shear their sheep, but they only had 2 stand shears. And the shearing contracts are 3 or more. So I answered their call. They gave me a van, and I could eat with the cocky, sleep in the cocky's house, and my 2 rousies. So I picked up a couple of girls from Motueka that could do Florida, come up. And then the fellow that was supposed to come down with me didn't come to help me shear. So one of the girls could rousey, so could shear, so she saw with me. And my farmer's wife did the rousey. We were getting paid good money, but we had a vehicle, free vehicle to go back. Of course, we only show up to lunchtime, because that's how much sheep the shed could hold, about 120. And with the rest of the day off, we go to Motueka. Come back a couple of days later, they got a shed full, because that's how long it used to take them to muster their sheep. Takaka was just one big paddock. They had to go and muster them, separate them, all that. That took me down to the South Island and doing tobacco. Got into the tobacco too. Got a contract for supplying tobacco to the kilns. 800 sticks are killed. And in the whole day we'd pull 4 killed the rest of the day in the pub. Yeah, money was it.
When you look at our young people today, we've got a lot that don't work, can't work, or won't work. We've got a system that seems to like youngsters being locked up on a benefit. What's the answer for moving our youngsters forward? What's the answer for them as ngā uri o ngā tino rangatira?
First of all, Danny, I believe they need to know who they are, and they need to know what they should be doing. Like what I was saying about Tata, that's what I do with my mokopunas. I got a mokopuna, she's 21 now, she's been working for the last 5 years, full-time job. And of course I sent her to a course to do kiwi fruit. She's done the whole course, she's an expert at kiwi fruit. So my son's got a job. And of course, I moved from Opotiki to Auckland to get him educated in technology. The only place I could get him in there for free was Babwe, when he was running the courses in Otahu here. So I got him in there, he spent 7 years in there, even in the Wakahuia doing the kapahaka and all. And I took him home, got him a job with OPEC, and now he's the CEO for the cool stores of OPEC. It's all technology, so he's sitting in his office.
So are you saying that the youngsters need the intervention of the Kamatua?
Yes.
They need that extended family support.
Yeah. At the moment, I think the ones I talk to, they've been brought up in the situation that broken home. And sometimes being brought up by the mummy for a while and then the daddy for a while, they confuse him, confuse you. So what I do with those ones, I bring them into our centre, establish them to themselves first, and then poi them along, and then once in a while I send it back either to the mummy or the daddy. And after a while, I get to see who looks after him better when they come back. It is usually the mummy that looks after him better. So I start feeding it back to the mummy here. And it's been a success. I've had a few successes. some of these kids have gone home to their mummy, and through my kōrero with them, that they've said, yeah, I like education. So they go back to do courses. I got 8 mokopunas now. They were regarded as truants, and they were all the way to a special school that the college has for truants and dropouts. So I've got them in the course now, learning how to be carpenters, learning how to be welders, learning how to be electricians, and learning how to be plumbers. And they said to me, well, why did you do that? So that they can build houses for themselves and do everything else that needs to be done in the house. And I said, if they build it on their own whenua, while they're building it, they can be doing a marakai too as well. It's not just about just building the pari, but do a marakai so they all grow up together. And that's the sort of thing. I'm setting up actually with the Justice Department, and they're calling it the rehab program. I said, no, it's not. To me, it's the hooking on my...
Coming back.
The hooking on my...
Coming back. Well, just on that, I know that you've got to get away. You've got some travelling to do. And thank you for joining me in my little cave.
Oh, thank you for the honour of being here, my brother.
Telling us about your cave. And I'm sure there's going to be a few more chapters as we catch up in the future.
Yes, yes.
Kei te mihi ki a koe te matua, ki tō kōrero, ki tō awhi o ngā mokopuna katoa. Tēnā.